Ladies, gentlemen, Chad, welcome to another episode of the New Ogden Cinema Podcast, brought to us by Great White Pottery as our sponsor. Sure does hold a tasty cup of coffee, and also who else is sponsoring today's episode, Ryan?
Today we're continuing sponsored by Tasty & Co. Hot Sauce. Hot sauce is made by film lovers and also hot sauce lovers. That'd be me. And I got this one. It's a brand new. It's called Writer's Block hot sauce. And because we know that when you're writing your next masterpiece can be hard, but it gets easier as you know that you can take a meal break and find your favorite hot sauce. Writer's Block. So it's a hot sauce made by me, a film lover, and also a hot sauce maker. And it'll be available soon on our Etsy site. But you can also try out our new Left 4 Dead hot sauce. It's featured for our film that I'm crowdfunding right now. Um, it's one of the perks, actually. And our campaign has been graciously extended. We crossed the $7,000 mark, so we were able to extend our campaign. It originally ended last night at midnight, but now it will go till July 2nd. So people who are looking for your name and your credits, or just even a special thanks shout out, or a copy of the script so you can follow along with us as we make the movie, those are still available until July 2nd and help us fund this movie. After that, we seriously are going out to the desert to shoot a movie. So, which is what I said last night. I was like, after this, we're going to shoot a movie. Well, still, but we're actively funding. So as we
Yeah.
go along, but didn't so and I also do a lot of markets downtown to sell hot sauce. And didn't Kate do? Was it her first market like a
Yeah.
weekend ago? Yeah.
Yeah, so Great White Pottery, if you're in the Seattle area, it's featured in the Kingston it's in the Kingston Sunday Market.
Dang.
So yeah. Uh
She can be there every Sunday now.
if you follow Great White Pottery on Facebook, we'll have what days she's on there because there's always something going on in the
There's something
lives, and it's
busy.
a
Yeah,
it's a busy summer. But yeah, so yeah, Great White
that's
Pottery,
awesome.
Tasty and Co. hot sauce, Left for Dead. Things
Left
are
for Dead.
just things are just smoking along, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's good to hear momentum's going for Left for Dead, and I'm excited when you guys start
Hmm.
shooting. And I'll be far away, but I'll be supporting from wherever I'm at, whatever state
Yeah.
I'm at, and whatever state of mind, I will be there for you. So excited to see how
Thanks.
it comes out.
I appreciate it. We're actually getting together tomorrow evening, um where we've decided we are going to go ahead and shoot a small teaser, but a small teaser because I feel like if you try to make a 3-minute trailer, you might as well just go on and shot your movie, because by the time you go to all these different locations and things, like, you might as well just shoot the scenes that you really need and kind of extend it out. But we kind of want to give people a little bit of a taste as to what, our overall our style is going to be, and what the film's going to look like. And I'm now aware that there's a video game series that's, people hear post-apocalyptic and they kind of already think, they just kind of jump the gun. It's a zombie thing. And then you have it be where there's a video game series that has a similar title. It's Left 4 Dead. And so there's a lot of questions that come from, like, so it's like a zombie thing. And it's like, it's not a zombie movie. It's not a zombie movie. It's not. Uh, it's apes didn't take over the earth. There's not even. I didn't even write the explanation as to why it's post that. In a sense, like, it's not there. So like, it's just, this is the world we live in, right?
Yeah.
Or at
Well, you
least the
should.
world that we live in. So.
Are you gonna for when you go do your teaser? Like, what kind of location are you going for? I'm interested to hear, and I don't know, throw out ideas if you're
Yeah.
still looking for some.
Well, so we've got it narrowed down to, like we've already kind of, like, so it's actually the DP. I spoke pretty hard with our DP over the week. His name's Brad Kendrick. Young kid, but man, he's sharp though. When we're chatting about different lighting concepts and different camera angles and other things, like a reference point. So it's kind of like, fuck, I got the phone calls like, damn, we already have a shorthand. Like, And that's nice when you're trying to have a language with somebody and reference things. And um, so he was kind of like, so he's like, hey man, he's like, why don't we do a teaser? And I explained my philosophy on the teaser, and then he's like, no, he's like, well, let's just shoot something. He's like, I'll cut it because I'm gonna edit the feature film because unlike everybody on this call, I don't have the editing credit of a feature film, so I want one. So,
Dang.
um, and also, I think also like my goal is to hopefully then like if we're shooting on if we're shooting on weekends, then I'll edit during the week or something like that, and we can kind of hopefully find where like okay, we actually need these shots before we get too far along. Um, but to answer your question, so we're gonna shoot. So for the movie, we'll shoot closer into Knab for some stuff. For this case, because it's going to be such a quick 26, 26 to 30 shots just to compile a teaser together. We're just going to go to Deweyville. BJ's brother has a farm out there, and the landscape changes in pretty quickly in about 4 different spots. So we're going to use that, and then we found another location that's about 20 minutes away that we're going to hit first a little bit of landscaping stuff. But so it's supposed to be kind of a teaser. It's almost going to be like a fake trailer because it's not really the images that we're shooting aren't going to be in the movie because we're going to go shoot the movie. But this is kind of like, hey, this is what we can do in fucking like one day and $10. So
Yeah.
get ready because we
No,
can't
that's
actually
cool.
access the money from the Indiegogo right now, anyways. So we're making this next piece off on a shoestring budget to try to so we can use the real money for the big thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was just gonna say like it's really cool when you find locations that you can multi-use, and I was thinking uh like I know we filmed down there before, but like the the River Parkway, like how
yeah,
much that changes in such a short period of time where you can get like
hmm
that almost like it's like the end of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang where he's like going through a park, but there's like a tunnel to the park, and then there's a freeway overpass, and then
yeah,
there's all that stuff in a short period of time, and it feels like so big in so many locations. Really, it's like it's there, just the
hmm
one. But
yeah,
like Ogden River Parkway is like that too, where you have like apocalyptic shit, but you have the walkway that we filmed on. But I want to say they
hmm
have like broken concrete and stuff, and then like there's that even the rodeo thing, like it's empty most of the time anyway. Like
hmm yeah,
it's cool when you can find locations like I mean, hell, when we filmed on 25th Street, like the decor changes like within the same block. So just like
yeah,
filming for 30 minutes in one place, picking up and then moving somewhere else and filming for
hmm
another 30 minutes, like it's awesome when you can find and it's not only awesome, but it's super efficient when you're trying to make things on a shoestring budget, right? To be able to do
yeah,
all those things versus we've been on a bigger production like certain web series that we survived, but and I don't want to trash talk anybody, but certain web series we survived, but like it was like you were running off to like somewhere up in Uintas or something like that, and meanwhile
hmm
we were like starting off down on like at the ATC, and there was another group of us somewhere else. Like we were just spread all over creation, and then it wasn't like we were filming. Like we didn't have enough locations that were close together, so it was like shoot somewhere and you're stuck there for 4 hours, and then it was tear down and then like transporting everything for an hour, if not
hmm
more, to locations, and then
yeah,
doing the
yeah.
same.
That production suffered from a lot from having look on an independent level, like having locations that were too far apart from each other, and so it was too hard to like shoot one episode that has multiple locations when it takes us just forever to get to them. So then it was like, okay, well, then let's shoot all of our location stuff when we're there. So pages 2, 3 from episode 1, 2 pages 4 7 from episode 2, just shit like that. And I mean, what you do, you're kind of supposed to do anyways, but it's just it made it to a point where we only ever completed, not we, but the team that we were working with only completed like really 2 episodes of all the stuff that we originally shot
Yeah.
because we ended up losing sorry, ended up losing actors. So then so like episode 3 was never completed because the actor had shot episode 9 and 10, but not enough stuff for part 3, right? Um, But yeah, I've thought about River Parkway. I haven't been down there in a minute, but I was planning on heading there soon. It probably won't be in time for the teaser, but I'm looking at like stuff like that for the feature film. We have some days where there's not just so most of the movie, or it felt like this when I wrote it, but now I don't know if it's really most of the movie was supposed to be a guy out in the wilderness on his own and then being hunted by just a single other person. But there are a few days, and that was purposeful because then it was like when you go shoot stuff out in the desert, I don't need a lot of people. We really don't even need to record sound. Like we're gonna record scratch sound so that we can Foley the rest of it. But that's also why there's like limited dialogue too. And so just kind of making it so it's something we can pick up the pace for when we go to shoot. Um, but then for 60,000, like, so we put in our budget, like, to make the movie $60,000. Well, for $60,000, I can take 10 people. We can all go to Kanab, and everybody will have lodging, food, per diems for the day, gas to get there, stuff like that, and we can shoot the movie. Um, but with all the success that we're having with the campaign, and we just passed the $7,000 mark, so it's going really well. But we have to start looking at, okay, well, maybe we can't go to Kanab. Maybe that day that has the 10 people in it, maybe that needs to be shot now in Weber County and doing what you're saying, like where we've shot a lot of our films and where I still live, like you could be in the downtown of the city and be in a complete rural, how the fuck ever you say it, location in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it'll be like flat grassland or some rocky river or something else. And you're just in this little gully and you can't really see everything around you that's modern, right? So
Right.
so now those things, because then actors don't have to travel in from anywhere. I don't have to put them up in hotels, stuff like that. So we're gonna make a blend of locations that are around us and blend them in with locations that are actually a travel away. And Deweyville from Ogden is actually, it's not too bad. It's like 30 minutes, maybe 35. So
Yeah.
it's pretty quick. So it's
What's
like
the
driving
city?
into like Huntsville.
What's the city
But
we shot in American Discord in? Was that Knab?
no, um, I had it too. I was thinking about it the other day. Um, because
I
I
mean,
think I
it's
might, huh? I
gosh,
think I might have to go. I think because I did want a part that was going to be shot in Helper. Specifically wrote Helper City into the script, but yeah, I don't know. Like we might have to scrap Helper City, but like, and then instead go to. Damn it, where was that? It's north of here.
yeah, it's up by Brigham City.
Yeah, it was a little town called. Fuck, I'm googling it. It's a little town called had like what do you call it? Mission or Mason?
I thought it started
Like
with a C or a K.
yeah, but like we shot in a building that was actually
Shot in the
like
Freemason
a
Lodge.
Freemason. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go Freemason Lodge. Search for one near me.
I'd search for one near Brigham City.
Yeah, that's sure. Yeah, because the one it took me to is in
There's one
anyway,
downtown Ogden.
it's like
But
in Colville. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, but you have like so you have Promontory Point like out near you. You've got all sorts of like there's a lot like north that's vast and
Hmm.
dead looking.
Yeah.
I mean, there's there's plenty of options. Hell, you drive up, like yeah, like drive past Huntsville, or you take the back road that goes up towards Logan through Eden.
Hmm.
You can only drive it in the summer. But like up that area or up near where we had a friend live just up through the mouth of it was on the way up towards Logan. There was that little offshoot, but it was past Brigham City. There's all sorts of stuff out there, like, but that's not an insane.
Insane driver. Was it
Yeah,
Corinne?
Corinne. Yeah, that's it.
So it is? Okay.
Yeah, Corinne.
Yeah, so um I didn't realize Brigham City had an airport. It's called a municipal airport, um but we're headed to Deweyville, so we're driving actually past Brigham City. So it's kind of like close to Tremont.
Okay.
So, but anyways, but there you go.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna be doing. Tomorrow we're gonna go shoot a quick teaser trailer for almost like a fake trailer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. I'm jealous. I feel the itch. I've been starting to look at some new gear so I can practice with. I'm jealous.
I think, and what I kind of also like is I think that it'll be nice to kind of this will give us a good test for what we want to do. So I think I'm kind of excited about that part too. It's like, oh, this will kind of give us a good feel for like, ah, well, next time we go shoot all day outside, here's what else we need to think about or something. So
Are you shooting on an iPhone or are you shooting on a DSLR by
yeah,
your DP?
it's a DSLR. I don't know what camera it is though. So,
Uh,
um, but I did have somebody reach out, said they had a he said that he would be willing to lend his cameras for free if we gave him an executive producer credit.
I mean, that's
So
better than nothing. Yeah, that's
I don't know
awesome.
what kind of yeah, I don't know what kind of cameras he has, but the picture, his cover photo on Facebook was an Ari. So so it's kind of like I don't know. I don't know if we know how to use one of those. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, all right, yeah.
Well,
But I hope he has his own insurance because before he lends me a $25,000 camera, why not?
yeah. Well, hopefully, I mean, if I'll understand, but my heart will be broken if his name's not, but mine is a producer in the credits. No, no, that's I mean that's cool. And I miss that vibe of indie filmmaking too. Because I think a lot of times one of the like I totally get it. You put a free you can put up a free posting or copy and credit and Domino's Pizza or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And there's gonna be somebody that's not okay with that and has a problem with that. It's cool. Nobody's forcing anybody to act in those type of projects if they don't want
Mhm.
to, but would we love to pay everybody involved? Absolutely.
Mhm.
I mean, you're talking about it. I'll speak. I don't, I speak for myself, but like, I absolutely would love to. But when you are paying, and it's not like there's not an unlimited bank. In fact, there's not even Hollywood like low budget scale rate for
Yeah.
most of the films because we're making Rebel without a crew, right? You're making a
Mhm.
movie
Yeah.
for. I mean, I think all in Truth About Us is about $10,000. I think when we looked at it
Damn.
at the time, I think yours was close to that too. When we did Married and Loving It, I think it was around
Yeah.
that. Like that's
I
ten thousand
started with
dollars.
yeah, I started with five, and then by the time we got to near the post-production stuff, and then plus the film festivals, I think I ended up in for another two, if not. I mean, eventually I stopped counting when I was just submitting to festivals. So I'd be like, oh, another $10, another $20, another $40. Like, So I don't know,
Yeah,
you
but
know, does
$10,000 is within the realm of reasonable, right? Like we've done,
yeah.
we both done it before, but when you're
Hmm.
working on that, like I was doing the, I was doing the budget for, I was doing a budget for a proposal for Obsession, and yeah, I mean, just pay if even paying like SAG ultra low budget like scale wages, like if you were to pay every actor at that, like
Hmm.
it would be, I mean, and paying every, if you're paying every position that budget, where you're looking at $30,000, and
Yeah.
nobody's giving, like, this is like one of the first projects we've done where we've done true crowdfunding
Hmm.
for something. Like we've supported other like films in the past, but this is the first where you or I have worked on a project where we're doing something of that nature. And so
Hmm.
um yeah, I mean, that's when it's all your money on the line. $30,000 is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
So
Well, and it's interesting. Like, so BJ did a feature film last year that is on Amazon Prime. Looks really good. I didn't. I'll be honest, I haven't seen the movie yet, but like, uh, BJ has a supporting role character in it, and he mentioned that his wages were deferred, or he took deferred payment, and I was like, man, it's interesting because I didn't realize. Because years ago, you and I would put up a thing and say, "Hey, deferred payment" or whatever, and like you just mentioned, there'll be some people who will kind of clap back and get mad that there's projects, but they're not being paid or whatever. Um, and I think probably one of the problems was is we were working at a time with a producer who we don't work with anymore, but like, and he would say things like, "Yes, it's paid," and then people would be like, "Okay, cool. So what's the pay?" And he's like, "Well, it's deferred." And then they say, "So it's no paid," and so it's not paid. And then he'd be like, "No, it's paid." And they're like, so I think it's just best to tell people it's deferred. But then my question to PJ was kind of like, to what end though? Like, and who's monitoring? Like at what point, whenever they make their money back or whatever, does the payment go out? Um, and to the actors, and who's really the overhead for that? Um, so like looking at our own film, and as I mentioned a second ago, like we have a day, which really we need 2 days with 10 people, and we have the 10 actors just alone. And if I was just to do the one day and I do the minimum SAG rate at like 120 or $150 an hour, or not an hour, sorry, but for the day, right? We times that by 10, and we're sitting at, that's $1,500. And right now we've raised 7 grand.
yeah,
So like on one hand, I absolutely think that yeah, these people are talented. They deserve to be compensated and try to make a living off of being an artist. And but at the same time, however, if I paid them, I wouldn't have the money to even make the movie to begin with. So at the current state of our budget, and this is why it's so important that we continue to do another 20 days on the campaign and try to continue to raise more money, is because without it, I there won't be without a certain level, I can't do the movie a certain way. So it's going to be so I'm coming up with a different plan for the deferred payment. I definitely don't want to do it where it's like, well, whenever we make the money back, you're going to get paid. I would think that I want to do it is where I break it up somehow, either half today, and by December I'll get you the other half, or by this time next year I'll get you the other half. Like something that's we both wrote it down in stone that like you will get paid. It just it will just take me another minute to get you paid, because if I spend it all now, then I might not have the money to finish the movie, or you know film festivals and stuff like that, right? So I think there's also that conundrum part of it too,
yeah,
which is like I agree actors should be paid and crew members should be paid, but at the same time, otherwise I don't get to go make the movie. So
Yeah,
we have to decide whether or not we want to make a movie. If we don't, and there are people who are lucky, who luckily they're willing to make that off to take that offer, or at least say like, yeah, I'll fucking do it for just because I want to make movies and I like you guys, you know.
yeah.
So
I mean, that's the challenge of making uh movies like on the indie system. And I won't lie,
yeah.
you might want to look up what SAG scale is because it is not that is not the ultra low budget minimum price anymore.
Oh God,
Yeah,
what is it now?
dude, you don't even want to know. Like it's, I think it's almost doubled.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, you have to think like SAG after
Yeah.
those two unions combined, right? And
Uh-huh.
then there's been all the reworked contracts and whatnot, and the worker agreements, union agreements over the last couple of years. So it has gone up, and that's why, like, yeah, it's yeah, but there's different rates for speaking versus non-speaking roles. So
Okay.
that is a thing. Um, but even having like a single line of dialogue um, can change the rate. So yeah, no, I broke it down by like non-speaking roles, and when I was doing my
Yeah.
budget, like just getting uber granular because I'm like, all
Yeah, you
right,
have to.
if I'm doing it this way, that's what I'm gonna do because I would like to pay as many people as possible. And then certain roles like there's certain roles I think um, need to be need to be paid. I don't
Hmm.
know that I can always pay them like we've run into people in the past, right? Where it was like a director of photography, like love to work with you guys and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, my minimum rate's like $20,000. Like, okay, well, that's really awesome of you, and I'm glad you are excited about working with us. But if that's your price, like I will never be able to afford you because
Yeah.
I'm not taking out a second mortgage
Hmm.
to do this. I'm not Kevin Smith or Ryan Coogler. I'm not gonna put everything on credit cards and bankrupt myself.
Yeah.
Um, which, hey, maybe to my detriment, but I would argue even they've talked about how dumb that was and how nervous they were, you know, and how much of a long shot it is to do that. I mean, we
Yeah.
reference it every so often, but there was that Grayson like 2.5 minute
Oh yeah.
fan trailer for like a Robin movie that never got made where I mean, really good looking. Like the
Yeah.
production value is awesome. The costumes are awesome. The fight scenes, like you could tell they put a lot of money into it. And I think when we talked
Mhm.
about it, it's like tens of thousands of dollars and not like 10. I think it was like 70 or 50, like a
Hmm.
significant amount of money. And that's it. Like it was a fun 2.5 minutes, but there's never
Yeah.
gonna like DC is never gonna give you the rights to make that movie.
Yeah.
You can't monetize that short film because you own zero rights to everything that's in that movie.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you've sunk $50,000 and you don't.
Yeah.
I hope they didn't do that. I hope they had it the other way around.
Well, I was speaking with a representative today from a very high film festival, one that I can't announce, but I'll tell you offline. And they were saying that last year they received 17,000 film submissions for their festival, and like let's say they did all in, and we were like, all right, I'm gonna second mortgage my house, $400,000, whatever, right? And then make a movie. And if you're one of, so at 17, they only pick like 100 movies. So they pick like 1 point something percent of the movies that get submitted. So, and Sundance is a similar situation. So if you don't get into those festivals, then like you have a $400,000 debt somewhere that you have to pick that up. And then now you could say, well, if you should have, well, then you should have had like at least one named actor or prominent actor or something like that, or some kind of monologue, so that you could have the chance to sell it and yada yada yada. And there's also all this conversation about like, because I spoke with another, so putting the movie out there, by the way, by saying I'm going to do this movie, it's going to be Indiegogo, and posting like every day on social media, people are starting to come back to me. So I spoke with this guy who was a producer, and he got hung up on the fact that there wasn't like a whole lot of like, um I didn't I didn't really, when thinking about making this movie, I was thinking about making it because I wanted to make the movie. Like I want to see the movie. I want to make it. Everybody else is like invited to the party. I did not necessarily, do the research and go like, oh, well, this movie's for men 16 to 40. Like I didn't have that like market research in it, IP
Yeah.
as everybody's talking about. Um, but my problem is that if that was the rule, if that's the only criteria, is that like you're gonna gamble $400,000 on a maybe chance you might get in there for 0.1. It's like, then do any of us have a chance to make a movie at
Yeah.
all? So to me, I go, well, how about I just continue? I want to go continue to make movies, and we're gonna have to make them at a significantly smaller price. And hopefully, the community and maybe there's a small fan base that would be willing to pay to help us along. In this case, it's been a lot of community members in the Utah and outside of the Utah film community that have helped. Even some people from we have backers from 4 different countries, by the way, outside of the U.S. I mean to say, so like Australia, London. I think Ireland's on that list too. I don't know what the fourth one is, but um, so so yeah, it's been a lot of the community. But anyways, I looked it up while you were chatting, while you were mentioning, for any movie made for less than $300,000, the day rate is $240,
Yeah.
$241
It's
for
I
the
told you
day.
it's double what you
Yeah.
quoted. I
I
know.
did not know that. And then the lower amount, like, so let's say it was a movie that's made for $35,000 less, is considered a student film, but then the film cannot be longer than 35 minutes. So it has to be a short film that's less than $35,000. And you're still plugging in at 100 something 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 dollars, but now you got to come up with 35,000. So that pretty much puts it as like, in order to make the movie we're making, I have to have no SAG actors, and I definitely can't pay the $240 an hour. I Not an hour. It's for the day
A
rate, right?
day. Yeah.
Yeah, for the day. And so yeah, that's a decent third, if not creeping in there on half of the budget that we currently have in our funding right now, right? So one has to say, hey guys, like I can pay you guys, but we're only get one scene out of this. And then like you said at the beginning of it, well, no, we said it before you and I jumped on this. We were talking about how like, we both made a lot of short films, and never once did I didn't think necessarily the short film was going to be like suddenly this one short film was going to make it so that I was going to be offered like 5 Marvel films or whatever. I think we were practicing and practicing really hard, and we learned a lot. And then the other part was I figured if we win enough awards, situations like right now can happen where I can run a crowdfund. People believe in the team because they've seen us go on to win awards for making $500 short films. So now, hey, give me $7,000 and I'll make a feature film. Tom Rockwell, who's one of our backers as well. I mean, that was the quote that we used to do with him, or he used to say, he's like, man, you give me $1 million, I'll make you like 10 amazing $100,000 features. Something like that. He's like, give me $10 million, I'll make you 10 features, all for $1 million, whatever.
I
So
just to you have the spirit of it right, but it was when just to give context, it's when The Lone Ranger was coming out,
yeah,
and we were all like $250 million for a Western, and then it was like, how did this movie fail? It's like because you paid $250 million to
Million
make this
dollars.
movie.
Yeah.
And Tom's was like, hey, $250 million, you give me $250 million, I'll give you 250 kick-ass westerns. And I was like, God, I love the spirit. And yes, you're right. And then I saw him a couple weeks later. I was like, and I quoted that back to him. He's like, I changed my stance, Jason. I said, well, what's that? He goes, you give me $250 million, I'm gonna give you 50 kick-ass westerns. And I went, Jesus, this man's or like 500 kick-ass westerns. Like he
Yeah.
like doubled it. He's like, I can make it for whatever. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And with that enthusiasm, absolutely.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah, it just it always makes me laugh. And yeah, I mean, I think too, like it's interesting to hear in the movie business with what's going on right now. They're like Sinners like is this runaway success, and yet
Hmm.
people were like, oh, it's not going to make its money back at $400 million. It's like I I just it's hard to believe that that is the case. And then Mission Impossible, and they talk about how the budget is probably closer to like 400 or 300 million. Yeah, movies like that, at least with Mission Impossible, there's a every time they release one, the other movies get interest again. There's licensing for all
Hmm.
that stuff, and I mean it's a spectacle. In fact, like the movie's so big, like yeah, it's worth seeing a couple times on the big screen because you're more than likely going to be seeing it on a phone or like on your TV. And we all have pretty big
Hmm.
TVs, I think, at this point. But still, like it's but how about this? It's bigger than the 20 or 19-inch like box TV that I had growing up. And I still
Yeah.
felt like a king back then. But you know, there is a shift coming, and hopefully we'll get back to making smaller, more moderately budgeted films. And I think that's kind of where the indie, like there will be
Hmm.
a scramble for the indie space where people are able to be more innovative for less money, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
where do you go? You know?
Yeah. Well, and with that then like if if you make a movie that's like a taxi driver, and though maybe it was made at what I was just saying, where it's like the people who made it did it for the passion and not necessarily for the gain of 200 $240 a day. I mean, actors have to eat. I mean, I understand that. Like they have to put food on their table, and I want people to be able to um make a living off of the art. So if they have another project on the table, then I'm happy if they take it. But if they're willing to take a leap with faith with us, then let's go make Taxi Driver at a $10,000 budget level
Yeah.
and turn out something that's you know that people will look back and go, wow, that's powerful, that's moving, that's something, and be that. But I don't know. I didn't realize it
Yeah.
was $240. So by that being said, go to fucking Left for Dead on Indiegogo and support this film, so we can pay actors and pay people.
I mean, you bring it up, so like for me, like my focus has been with screenwriting more than anything, right? It's also equally a crapshoot, and just like so, for example, I submitted two entries into the Page International Screenwriting Awards, right? And I got an update. They're like, "Hey, cool. I submitted for two different categories, two different scripts, just because why I figured why not, right? It's more highly regarded than a lot of them, and I thought it would be good. But so I got an update after the submission deadlines finally wrapped up, and like all in, they have 9,115 entries for this year's
Damn.
contest. So I entered twice, so that is still cool. And they have multiple categories, but you're talking like you're competing against, I mean, 9,000 people. So you probably still
Hmm.
have some duplicates. So let's just say 9,000.
Yeah.
But like some of the categories, and of course it's the ones but like drama is their biggest one,
Yeah.
1,750, and then thriller horror is 1,250 basically. And it's, I mean, when we talk about these competitions in the film, like I don't have to for this, like my time is spent writing, right? Like all my time
Hmm.
is spent, like I research and whatnot, but the time is spent writing and it doesn't cost as
Hmm.
much. Like the program, once you pay to for writing software, and there's
Yeah.
free ones out there. Once you pay for that writing software, that's a one-time cost for all time eternal. Whatever time you
Yeah.
spend writing, that's there's a sunk cost on that.
Hmm.
But really, like the cost is submission, right? And then if you pay for
Hmm.
additional feedback and all that stuff, and it's all a crapshoot. Like it's all like hitting the lottery. So,
Yeah.
um, I hope that I've had a lot of success with both of these scripts. I've won several competitions and awards.
Yeah.
I'm proud of every single one. And um, truly, like with Obsession, I won or placed as a quarter semifinalist in half of my submissions.
Dang.
And to be even placed, like, hey man, like I take pride in that. Did I
Yeah.
win did I win a ton of them, and did I win any big ones? No, but did I get towards the top of the mountain every time? Like, yep. And so it tells
Hmm.
me I have something there. It still needs to be polished, and that's fair too. And I've been rewriting it and working on it.
Hmm.
But it's whether you make a short film for $50,000, whether you write something, whether you make a feature film for $50,000, like any of it, like it all, you're playing the lottery because
Hmm.
you're get like in this instance, like for this specific competition, 9,000 people, they changed the Academy Awards, the Nichols Fellowship, they changed it to go through the blacklist as like the only semi-public thing, and it was like super restricted, but I mean I think they were capping it out because they were just getting so many submissions. So
Hmm.
you, you gotta tell a very special story, and you gotta rise to the top of the pile with
Yeah.
being innovative. So
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been saying it since fucking high school. I was like, I wish that the real passion that I had was like writing novels because it's like the cheapest thing. It's a lot cheaper.
yeah,
Like you said, there's still a cost because you have to have either the paper and the typewriter or the computer and the internet and whatever. But like, and then the cost it takes you to sit down and do it. But like, it doesn't cost thousands of dollars to do because film is such a collaborative process and you need so many different people to help in order to get it done. Um, yeah,
I'm gonna
so
tell. I'll even tell jokes. Sometimes there's human capital costs, like how many hours do you sacrifice with your loved ones? Hell, how many marriages sometimes do you have to burn so you can
yeah,
pursue your dreams? Like
I burned
it's
at least one. The second one's around the corner. So yes.
yeah.
No, I'm
So
just I'm just teasing Brandy. I know she's gonna hear this, so I gotta like she listens to our podcast. So
no, but I mean the pursuit of art often is
Mhm.
pain. Um,
Yeah.
often well-regulated people are not the ones that are telling loud stories, but
Yeah.
no, it is one of those things though, like the suffering of art brings around just incredible art. And if
Mhm.
you can endure, like I think that's the thing that all of these, like any professional advice that I've listened to or any conferences I've gone to, like the
Mhm.
big thing is about the suffering of art. Like it is grinding it out for
Hmm.
20 years and then getting your shot. So sometimes that's how it is. Others are so lucky that they make a short film that gets recognized and then get handed the Evil Dead franchise and then pivot into Aliens later down the road. And hell,
Yeah.
that guy like I remember hearing about that and I was like, you and I were both like, gosh, jealous as all get out that
Yeah.
I want to say Alvarez,
Hmm.
the guy who made the Alien Romulus and the first Evil Dead remake. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, just talented as all get out and
Hmm.
right place,
He
right
did a movie.
time.
He did a movie called Don't Breathe. It's pretty good too.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
check it out.
It's someone's got that guy who's the bad guy in Avatar, and he like plays like he's like a blind man, but he's like guys, these kids go to like rob his like they break into his house to rob him, and then they don't realize that like he's already got the place booby trapped and shit, and so now they're stuck in this house where he can hear like every creak in the floor and stuff like that, and know where they're at. That's pretty good. It was like that. What's that one with Audrey Hepburn where she's blind?
Wait until dark.
Uh, Wait Until Dark. So it's like Wait Until Dark. Only Audrey Hepburn's like a psychopath, and it's and it's like ready to kill you back. So
So it's John Rambo who's blind and
yeah,
go.
yeah.
PTSD working overtime.
Uh-huh. But yeah, well, I don't know, man. God, even in the independent filmmaking world, the budgets are inflated. Damn. Okay, well, that's why they need films like us, like filmmakers like us to push through and blow past those misconceptions of how much money it takes to make a movie.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of heart and spirit and a little bit of cash so you can get there. But
I mean,
so,
I at least, Utah's got a lot of great things, and I don't want to speak ill of it, but I did feel like there's a lot of talk about film, and there's a lot of talk about indie film because Utah does have a rich history of it, like
mhm.
Sundance Film Festival, Slam Dance, just all the movies that have been filmed there, right? But when you when you're at our level, trying to get support, it was more like, okay, well, do you have $50,000, $100,000? Like it was like probably it was like I think $100,000. I'm like, no, I don't have that because, and this is true, I'm making my own movie, but I'd love to slap
Yeah.
the Made in Utah logo on it if I could. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't many I'm not trying to talk poorly of them either, but I mentioned this a little bit last time, was that there wasn't much help from sometimes the Utah Film Commission um at our level. Like it's just not there's some grants that it probably could be written for, but then but then that like again the idea of like so maybe the argument is like, okay, well then you need to go find the $60,000 to make it. And okay, well then the other argument is that nobody's willing to throw $60,000 away because it's a story that's what's the IP? What's the ROI? What's the return on what's the built-in audience already? Is it something that's going to be episodic that can be sold to Netflix because Netflix likes episodes and yada yada. And then it's like, okay, well, it's not even. I wanted to make this movie though,
yeah,
and I wanted to tell this story, and I wasn't doing it because I've thought that it was going to be necessarily like I think that this is a movie that could sell better than Marion Loving It for sure. I think that it has more like sellability to it, but like the number one reason why I'm making it isn't because I can sell it; it's because I want to make it as an artist and as a filmmaker. And I thought that's a movie I'd like to see.
yeah.
So, and I think that when I approach it from that angle, people will then see the passion behind it, like they've seen with the other works of art that we have done, that have found their success in one of the key pieces because we do it because we like it.
Shout out to Ancient Evil 29,
Yes.
because when you speak of art that we've done, no, but in honesty, again, like talking about like the learning process, and then I think we talked around it, but bringing it back home, the Scorsese talking about how filmmakers need to make short films to make
Hmm.
movies. Like we made films within our budget, so therefore, like to for a while there, it was a lot of human pieces because that's what we could afford to make. And then
Hmm.
you buy product, we meet other filmmakers, and we start expanding out into different places. And then it's like, oh yeah, you can make a horror film for cheap. It just takes this, and then I'm like, oh, well, if it's gonna be like that, and then
Hmm.
stretching the wings a little bit. And I think that I'll again, I'll speak for myself, but I think once we started doing some of those types of movies where it was like, yeah, we could get a lot, like we didn't have a lot of money. In fact, we spent less money on some of those horror films, but we got so creative and so innovative. And then we
Hmm.
also pushed the limits of our budgets by doing like uh the whole putting putting an actress on a dolly and then you know pushing and pulling back like because
Oh yeah,
we don't have a track, right?
yeah.
Or putting the cameraman on said dolly that's laying down, it's like a full out
Hmm.
hand cart, and we're lifting it slightly and doing it surfboard style
Hmm.
as we push in on the actress. And I mean, does every gag work? No, but sure was a lot of like it was a lot of fun to make. It makes
Hmm.
it, I think, more fun to watch as well. But we
Yeah.
also like again, like at our budget, we were like copying Spielberg. Was it
Hmm.
amazing copy? It's for others to decide. I think it's not too bad,
Yeah.
but like that scene in I don't remember which. It's the Ancient Evil film where you play the priest. So for those who want to see, like, there's some great gags in
Yeah.
that. There's a Bible that spontaneously
So yeah,
combusts. How
yeah,
did we
lights
do
on
it? It was
fire.
movie magic.
Yeah,
So,
magic. Yeah, yeah.
uh, but at one point
And
the
we
actress
ended.
gets.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
was
we ended up winning like best special effects for
yeah
for some of those movies because if we were pulling tricks like that out our ass. I open up a book and it just lights on fire immediately. Or even like when I threw up, like that, bucket thing of vomit. Like we didn't just pick the right angle and just have someone next to you pouring it, and it looks like
yeah
it's me, right? Kind of a thing. So yeah.
yeah. I mean the whole like when Lenise is getting sucked through the door to hell before
Hmm.
the blood comes in and splurting through the door, like we totally did the shot from Jurassic Park where the guy gets sucked in by, like to the Velociraptor cage, and so he like, but we didn't have anything special, so we're just lifting her right,
We're
and then
lifting her up in the air. Yeah.
dropping her down, and then pulling her back. Like, but we get to Ape, one of our favorite movies. It's a cool, like the gag works, and honestly,
Mhm.
if we weren't making that type of film, I don't think we would have used that type of inspiration for. It's not a horror
Yeah.
film, but it's there's horror elements to Jurassic Park, obviously. But
Hmm.
like, yeah, um, that that's where I think like using the grammar of the masters that came before, and truly the masters that
Hmm.
came before. Um, you make your budget your aesthetic, but you can dream a little bit bigger than you think you can too.
Yeah.
You just won't be able to do SAG day rates or DP union rates, and
Yeah.
you don't necessarily have to. I've worked with plenty of talented people that didn't have union cards that
Mhm.
are better than some of the actors I've worked with that did have union cards,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Very
that's
true.
yeah. And
What should we? Well, should we shoot the shit about some movies that we watched and then we'll wrap it up.
yeah, I mean, if you want to like, I'm always I make it a point to watch a couple movies a week with the kids, and then obviously stuff without them. So I've got whatever, but I've been rambling on. So do you want to pick a couple you've watched recently?
Yeah, well, I was telling you is the last thing I saw in the movie theater was Mission Impossible 7. Now I do run a movie night every Monday downtown at the Funk and Dive. So I guess those times, so I like rewatch like League of Their Own. This week we have coming up is going to be Three Amigos. Um,
That's awesome.
and we have there's a group that shows up every week, and they've been doing so for like the last couple of months. So we thought, instead of doing like a staff pick, let's just see what they want to watch. So they picked that. But like stuff that was new to me, I rewatched The Talented Mr. Ripley. I didn't realize that that character was in more than more than one story. Apparently, the Ripley character is in like a book series, and over the years, there's been different variations, movies that have been made, and it's all on the Criterion Channel. And well, I'll give this Talented Mr. Ripley, and I really didn't like it as much when I first saw it. And I thought perhaps it's probably because I was just too young because we were teenagers when that movie came out.
Yeah.
If not younger. I think it was maybe a 97, 98 movie. So like, um, but I felt it a lot more rewatching it as an adult, and just the way certain like snobby people are, the way that I don't know, I just think it came off as a different movie than what I saw the first time around. So, um, but I did watch The Accountant. I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't expecting very much. I don't know why I didn't think that that was going to be a good movie, but I was like, they must be because they've made a second one, and so but I liked it. I liked it quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
So
I haven't revisited the first one in a bit, but I've seen it before. It'd been some time. I saw it like way after the fact. And I think that like I kind of wished I would have seen it in theater so I could have seen it with people. I didn't hate it, but I was like, huh, it was fun. Popcorn movie,
yeah,
turn my brain off.
yeah.
I watched the second one, man, just grab a bigger bucket of popcorn. It's on Amazon Prime. You just grab that bigger bucket of popcorn. Uh
Accountant 2 is on Amazon Prime,
yeah, yeah, it's already on Amazon Prime.
like just to stream, like without
Yeah,
renting it,
yeah.
or do you have to? Really?
I watched it
Shit.
last weekend with my in-laws, so we had a good time. They brought in John Barenthal, and yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, Counting two again, like it's no Rashomon, but it is
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not Rashomon.
yeah, no, it's not. But you just you get a big old bucket of popcorn and watch a popcorn movie, turn your brain off, and have a good time. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it takes itself less seriously than the first one. So, and if you've seen the trailer, you kind of probably already knew that. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Dang.
mean, yeah. So that yeah, that's fun. You should watch it. You should check it out because it won't cost you anything that you're not paying already.
Dang.
And then on Hulu, I watched Predator Killer of Killers, and yeah, it's from the director that did Prey, um, but it's
Oh,
an
really?
animated film, and it's kind of animated like in the style of the Spider-Man film. Like it's not exactly the same, but it's that
Hmm.
kind of surreal style to it. And man, that movie is so cool. It
Stunning.
is ultra. Honestly, yeah, it kind of is,
Interesting.
but in such it's like just it's its own movie. Again, I didn't take it serious. Like it's a Predator film, and you could tell like in like nothing that's not in the trailer, right? Like you see
Hmm.
Vikings, you see ninjas and samurai, you see World War II pilots, and I was like, okay, so this movie is gonna be fucking Gonzo. Yep, it's Gonzo. Um, and it's gonna be insanely bloody. Trailer gives that away, and yeah, like it does not. Like the scene with the Vikings, like before you even get to the Predator, just imagine Viking raids with battles with so many decapitations and just cool stuff. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. And again, I think if you have Disney Plus or Hulu, you probably have access to it.
Thing.
Definitely worth hell, sign up for a Hulu trial and watch it. Like, but yeah, that's it's a lot of fun. I actually also like with it's the summer. It's time for I try to show the kids blockbuster films as well from the 90s and 80s when I
Yeah.
grew up. And like we watched The Three Musketeers with from
Oh,
Disney.
nice.
Yeah. Now that
Like
movie,
Charlie Sheen and or
yeah.
is
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen in it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, he is.
And is it Kiefer Sutherland or is Emilio Estevez
Yeah.
in it?
That's Kiefer Sutherland,
Okay.
Charlie Sheen, Oliver Platt, and then Chris O'Donnell, who
Yeah.
watching that movie again, I was like, man, you know who is had the same career path and almost looks exactly like Sam Worthington. Sam Worthington
Yeah.
looks just like Chris O'Donnell, and he tried to get shoved up everybody's ass too. And they were like, I'll watch you in this movie I like, but other than that, go to hell, Sam Worthington. You're not allowed in my movies. And that's pretty much the same career path as Chris
Yeah.
O'Donnell. Like,
It's Sam Worthington's Avatar, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But he,
Okay. Yeah. Like Avatar, he should have exploded. Like, and
yeah,
then he did like Terminator Salvation, and I don't really know. Like, I don't know if he's
Man
just,
on
I
a
don't know if he's,
Ledge, and he did a
oh
bunch of
yeah,
stuff. But I think he's got he does have a good leading man look, but he just didn't have maybe the skill to keep up on it. I don't know. Like I don't mind him
yeah.
in Avatar. Like I honestly don't mind. But if you look at you put those two homies up side by side from a similar era, you'd be like, oh, it's Clash of the Titan. Remember Clash of the Titans
Oh
and
yeah,
Wrath of the Titan? Like he was
yeah,
just in every blockbuster for about 3 or 4 years until it petered out, and now we
mm,
just see him in Avatar movies when James Cameron gets back around to using him, and
yeah.
I like them
What
all though.
was what was the guy's name who played? I think he plays Kyle Reese in that Terminator movie that basically remade the first 45 minutes
Uh, Jai
as Emily
Courtney,
Clark. Yeah, like he's somebody who I thought they keep trying to put him as the lead in every movie and doesn't it and not like it probably breaks his own heart, but like just for some reason the world just doesn't want him in the lead of their movies.
yeah,
And like Taylor, what's his name from like John Carpenter, John Carter on Mars had a similar like he's really great in season 3 of True Detective. He's probably the best part, one of the better parts of it, minus Colin Firth, but like or Colin Farrell. Um, but yeah, he was another person who was like a lead in movies that just weren't going anywhere.
yeah. He also like, hey man, I get it. Sometimes you guys strike while the iron's hot and take whatever money, but you make a movie like Battleship.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's in that.
You kind
Yeah.
of it is a paycheck film. I get it, but
I mean, I
uh,
did see an interview with Michael Caine, who, notoriously like he did like Jaws 4 just to get paid and buy his mom a house or whatever. He's like, I don't know, the movie sucks. I bought my mom a house though. But he did it. I saw an interview thing where he's like, well, you could do one of two things. He's like, yeah, so maybe you work a little bit and you're in a couple crap films and whatnot. He's like, but then you're gonna be in a good film. He's like, then you need to go, you do a couple crap films, and then you're gonna be in a good film. He's like, but he's like, but you could be the actor. He's like super picky, and you don't work for 2 years, and you're just not practicing that. You're not flexing that muscle. So by the time you go to get on set, it's a great movie, but you're okay in it because you haven't been practicing for 2 years. He's like, whereas me, I went off and did three crap films. I've been practicing the whole time, and now the great movie comes around, and I'm amazing in it. And, all right, yeah, that could be fair too. Like, you know, so
yeah, they I don't it I so I showed the kids Three Musketeers and then a couple
Oh
other
yeah, so we were
movies,
talking
but
about.
I showed him the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I guess my youngest, when I showed it to him, he was just not. He was too young to remember. So when I was like, "We're gonna watch Indiana Jones," he's like, "Dial of Destiny," and I was like, "No, we're gonna watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, homie." He's like, "I don't know," and the girls had seen it and they remembered it enough, but it was like watching it for the first time with him, and it made it fun again. Like I think I've
Yeah.
like that's kind of the magic of it. Where it was just like, yeah, just all the stuff in that movie is just magic from the beginning to the end. And
Mhm.
like when Indiana Jones is sees the swordman that's like going all nuts, and he's like, nope, and he just shoots him.
And just executes the
Yeah. or,
guy.
or he gets in a fight with the big German that gets chopped up by the blades. Like
Yeah.
yeah, he was just like, oh, this is the coolest. I'm like, yeah, it is the coolest, isn't it? It's a lot of fun. So looking forward to doing. We didn't get to Temple of Doom yet, but I'm gonna try to squeeze in Temple of Doom and Last Crusade maybe this weekend for
Nice.
Father's Day, just so that I can guilt them into doing something I love and get two classic movies.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah, I want to. The girls were asking about seeing Mission Impossible 7, and I was like, or 8, whatever number's out. And I was like, we should watch one through whatever first instead of just jumping right instead of just jumping in at the last one. I'm like, you know, there's 20, 30 years, 30 years, I think. The first
It's
one came out in
29.
96.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, 30 years of Mission Impossible um story making. So that's where we should start.
I mean, could you like do one, three, and then five through the end? Like, absolutely, you
Yeah.
could if you wanted
Yeah,
if
we
you
can
wanted to
save
rush
ourselves,
through
yeah.
it.
Yeah. But but they see the air if the only thing if if the first thing they saw was the airplane one, then like some of the stunts in the other movies when he was like he was doing the stunts, but he wasn't escalating it as much as he has in these last like four. Like so like in the first movie there wasn't really like a stunt to be done. I mean there's stuff in there, yeah, but like like I guess when they dropped him in the bank vault scene, he actually did hit the floor a couple times. But so I mean, I'm sure his face felt like it was a stunt, but like and the rest of his body when he hit the floor. But like the second one, like the besides like the motorcycle stuff and the knife and the eyeball, like it was really kind of like him hanging off the rocks in southern Utah.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the the stunt in the movie or whatever.
I think you're
Um,
forgetting the first one though, the kind of the big part is like you take it for granted with the movie magic, but it's the fight on the top of the train because like they're really whipping the wind around. Like I
yeah,
I mean, obviously they're not on top of a moving train, but whatever they're doing, like they're in a wind tunnel of some sort because he's
yeah.
just like because remember his suit coat just flies
Oh
off the
yeah,
top of him.
yeah.
Um yeah. I mean, yeah, he's been amping and then three. Actually, three is a little bit reserved, but it kind of does because he's like sliding down a building backwards while he's like shooting a bunch of homies and then
Yeah.
crashing through and the parachute and
hmm he does that jump off the building that like teeter swings him a little bit.
yeah,
So there's that. But it's kind of like by the time you get to the part four, where it's for a while we called it just like Mission Impossible Dubai sequence. Like that was because the plot wasn't really as interesting in my opinion. But like, or but it was really like the big thing was he's on hanging off the side of the tallest building in the world. Um, and then from there it goes into like he's hanging off an airplane in part five. And then five, yeah. Six is like jumps the motorcycle off the cliff. Now this one is like hanging off the airplane again. but it's for 20 minutes. And then jumps off the airplane and purposely lights his parachute on fire.
Well, the other thing, you're missing. So that was jumping off the cliff on the motorcycle 7. But the one, like the big stunt he did was kind of like like him being underwater with no, um, like it's in that spinning
Yeah.
thing, and he actually was underwater without like being able to have oxygen for air. And they talked about like
Mm.
how he like broke a record at the time until Kate Winslet came in and did Avatar, and James Cameron's like she held her breath for like 12 and a half minutes, Tom Cruise, and then took off. But like
Yeah.
yeah, I mean like they are like he just gets bigger and bigger, and they're hey man, they're fun. Like again,
Yeah.
popcorn. Like the first one, there's a lot of intelligence to that film. Third one, there's a lot of intelligence to that one too. And all the rest of them are just fun popcorn films. Like it's like
Yeah.
American James Bond and
Hmm.
suspension of disbelief, and it's a blast. And seeing it
Yeah.
on a big screen is a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
yeah. But well, yeah, I guess the only like I won't lie, F1 is coming out in IMAX.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm gonna take the kids to see that in IMAX.
Mhm.
Kate was like, I don't know, it looks like it's gonna be rated R. I was like, it's if it's endorsed by F1, it's probably gonna be PG-13. And it's the dude that directed Oblivion, and he
Top
directed
Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick. I was like, it's gonna be
Mm.
PG-13. And I think
Tron
it
Legacy.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And it just looks
Looks
huge,
really
and
good.
yeah, it
Yeah.
looks awesome. So hoping that comes out the end of this month, I think. And then
Hmm.
some other blockbuster, like the kids are actually, the more trailers come out for Jurassic World, my kids are actually less excited because it looks like it's more horror film than Jurassic Park. So that's
I
gonna
haven't
be
even
an
seen it.
interesting one.
I haven't even seen the trailer for that. Yeah. Like I saw that there was a trailer, but I kind of was also like, ah, Jesus Christ. Like there are some franchises where like they can make Lethal Weapon 5 right now and I'd be there in a heartbeat without blinking. And then there's some where it's like I never thought we would have a part 4 of or part 3 and I'm like, "Oh my God, they finally did it. They finally gave it to us." But then like they went ahead and like did like 7 more. And Jurassic Park's one of those where it was like we waited so many years for like a part 4 of Jurassic Park, which then was really just Jurassic World. And then it went on to just like I saw pieces of the third version of that movie and I was like, there's like this whole international black market selling fucking dinosaurs and shit. And I'm like, man, this really went far from where it kind of originally started. Um, and then sadly, there's movies where like I waited for years for them to make a part 4 and I can't even sit through it. So like Bad Boys Part 4, I watched the opening scene. I I didn't like I fell asleep and then I just haven't returned to it. And Brandy said it was like, yeah. And Axel like waited all those years for them to make a fucking Beverly Hills Cop movie. And yeah, it's like I saw half of it. But
Yeah, the kids are excited to see it. So like, is it like my top dollar pick for a movie? No, but where they want to see it, like, yeah, I'll take them. In fact, I think my brother's coming into town at that time, and so it's a good time to. His kids are excited to see it. All right, well,
yeah.
we'll do it. But I saw the newer trailers. I was like, woo! It looks like because it's like I'm not gonna tell you anything that's not in the trailer. Like you should probably check one or two out. Like a little bit more interested, but it's like, what if you went to a park, but it was all the rejected ideas of dinosaurs because they didn't work. It's like so it's like if they cloned the dinosaur, but it came out
Like
undercooked and
yeah.
horrific looking. So it actually could be kind of interesting, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, I remember when Jurassic World came out, and the first one was good enough, but I think because it was like it overnight, it was like the highest grossing film. It's like $1 billion, and I was like, I mean, it was it was fine. It's a popcorn film,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it was that good. And then they made two more, and it's like, oh, it's getting kind of, yeah. It's like you said, like international dino trading and cloning of humans, and they kind of jumped the shark really hard. And all you had to do was just do, I don't know, like you don't have to make a convoluted story. You just make dinosaurs and humans in terrifying situations.
Yeah.
Seems like a really easy win. But anyway, well,
Um,
it's been good catching up. It's
yeah.
been good chatting movies. If you guys have any topics, feel free to reach out. Also, I
Mhm.
know that Chad always brings up good stuff, and we try to give him some advice out there. So good luck
Uh-huh.
to you, Chad, in your dreams and passions and journeys. And till then, we'll see you guys next time at the
Yeah.
movies.